The last dragon was dying. Everyone in the world knew it, even if they pretended not to. Satellites had captured the image months ago. A massive shape curled like a broken mountain in the red deserts of Ashkar Prime. Its wings were torn. Its scales cracked. Its fire reduced to weak sparks that barely warmed the sand beneath it. The elders of many species said, "It's the same thing when the last dragon dies. The old universe truly ends." Eric did not care about legends. He was 14 years old, thin, quiet, and human, one of the weakest species in the Galactic Union. Humans were known for trade, survival, and stubborn hope. They were not known for dragons. Eric lived in a research outpost near the desert. His parents were xenobiologists, studying ancient life forms. He spent most of his days fixing broken drones, listening to old music, and staring at the endless sky. That was how he first heard the dragon cry. It was not loud. It was not terrifying. It was sad. The sound traveled through the air like a low vibration, slipping into Eric's chest and staying there. He dropped his tools and looked toward the desert. Something inside him whispered, "Go, Dot." The next morning, Eric took a small rover and drove past the safety borders. Warning alarms screamed. He shut them off. Hours later, the sand turned dark and glassy. Heat shimmered. Then he saw it. The dragon Dot. It was larger than any ship Eric had ever seen. Its body was scarred with ancient battle marks, weapons from civilizations long dead. One wing lay twisted. Its chest barely moved as it breathed. Golden eyes opened and fixed on him. Eric froze. Every story it ever heard said dragons hated humans. Said dragons burned worlds when they sang. Said their voices shaped reality itself. The dragon spoke directly into his mind. "Why does a human come to watch me die?" Eric swallowed. His voice shook, but he answered aloud. "I didn't come to watch. I came because you sounded lonely." The dragon's eye narrowed slightly. "Lonely," it repeated, like tasting the word. "All things are lonely at the end." Eric stepped closer, heart pounding. "Is there anything I can do?" The dragon laughed a dry, cracking sound like breaking stone. "No. The song of creation is lost. My fire is fading. My kind is finished." Eric frowned. "Song?" The dragon studied him carefully now. Before stars burned, dragons sang. Songs shaped matter, time, and life. But the first warband are songs. The Union erased them. Even listening is forbidden. Eric felt a strange pull in his chest. "I know songs," he said quietly. The dragon's mind pressed closer, heavy and curious. "You know, dragon songs." Eric shook his head. "No, human songs. Old ones. From Earth." The dragon was silent for a long moment. "Sing," it said suddenly. "Before I fade, let me hear something." New. Eric hesitated. He remembered the laws. Forbidden frequencies. Reality and stable harmonics. Songs that could bend physics. He remembered his mother's warning. Some sounds wake old things. But the dragon was dying, so Eric closed his eyes. He sang. It was a soft song, one his grandmother used to hum. No words at first, just a simple melody, slow and warm. His voice trembled, then steadied. The sand beneath the dragon shimmered. The dragon's eye widened. "Stop," it whispered. "That frequency. It touches the deep song." Eric opened his eyes, frightened. "I'm sorry, no," the dragon said urgently. "Continue." Eric sang louder. The melody grew stronger. The air vibrated. Cracks in the dragon's scales began to glow faintly gold across the galaxy. Sensors spiked. Union scientists stared in horror as impossible energy patterns appeared. "That song," one whispered. "That's forbidden." Back in the desert, the dragon lifted its head for the first time in centuries. "Human child, you are not singing music." Eric felt tears on his cheeks. He didn't know why. "Then what am I singing?" The dragon's voice shook the sky. "You are remembering." The ground trembled. The dragon's chest glowed brighter. Its breathing deepened. But alarms wailed in Eric's rover. Union ships were coming, high above. War cruisers dropped from hyperspace. Weapons powered up. Orders echoed. Terminate the dragon. Eliminate the human. The song must not spread. Eric kept singing because now he understood something important. The universe had tried to erase dragons, but it had forgotten. Humans and humans were very good at remembering. Things that should not die. The first blast struck. The desert like a falling sun. Sand turned to glass. The shockwave threw Eric backward, slamming him into a rock. His song broke off in a gasp of pain. Above them, 5 Union warships hovered, cold and perfect, their cannons glowing blue. The dragon roared, not in anger, but in fear. Do not stop, the dragon cried inside Eric's mind. Your voice is holding me together. Eric pushed himself up, ears ringing. Smoke filled the air. His hands shook. They'll kill you, he whispered. They fear what you are doing, the dragon answered. They fear humans. Another blast hit closer. The dragon's scales flared gold, forming a faint shield, but it flickered weakly. Eric looked at the sky. He had never hated anyone before. Now he did. Union command channels opened, loud and sharp. This is Union authority. Human child, step away. You are interfering with a class extinction event. Eric shouted back, his voice cracking. You're murdering him. He is a relic, the voice replied. Dragons destabilize reality. Their songs nearly destroyed the universe once. Eric felt the dragon's thoughts twist with pain. They lie by omission, it said. We did not destroy the universe. We refused to obey. A beam struck the dragon's side. Flesh burned. The dragon screamed. Eric screamed to something inside him snapped. He stood. Legs weak but locked, and sang again. This time, the song changed. It grew louder, deeper. Words came, old human words about loss, hope, and standing alone against the dark. His voice carried pain, love, and stubborn defiance. The desert responded. Wind howled outward in a perfect circle. The warship's sensors went wild. What is happening? A Union officer shouted. Energy readings spiked beyond known limits. The dragon gasped. That is not a dragon song. It whispered in awe. That is a human truth song. Eric didn't understand. He just sang. The dragon's wounds began to close slowly. Cracked scales reformed, glowing brighter than before. Its heart thundered like a drum beneath. The ground. Union cannons fired again. The blasts bent. They curved away from the dragon, pulled by invisible waves shaped by Eric's voice. Silence fell over the battlefield. Eric dropped to his knees, breath burning in his chest. Why is this working? He asked weakly. The dragon lowered its massive head until one golden eye filled his vision. Because humans are, unfinished beings, it said gently. Your voices are not bound to the song of creation. Eric frowned. I don't understand. Dragons sing reality as it is, the dragon explained. But humans sing reality as it should be. Eric felt the words sink deep. The Union commander shouted again, panic creeping in. All ships retreat. That human is amplifying forbidden harmonics. Too late, Eric's song reached outward, riding the frequencies, leaking into space. Across nearby systems, people felt it. A strange warmth. A memory of courage they didn't. No, they had lost. Union soldiers hesitated. Some lowered their weapons. Others cried without knowing why. The dragon rose, not fully but enough to spread its wings. The sky darkened. Human child. The dragon said, voice now powerful. Do you know what the first war truly was? Eric shook his head, still singing softly. It was not dragons versus the universe, the dragon said. It was dragons versus control. Images flooded Eric's mind. Ancient dragons singing stars into place. Young species growing free and wild. Then the Union's ancestors afraid of chaos. Afraid of choice, they demanded silence. Dragons refused, so the Union erased their songs, hunted them across time, and rewrote history. You were never meant to remember us, the dragon said. But humans remember pain, and hope, and loss. A Union cruiser fired one last, desperate shot. Eric didn't stop singing. The beam struck an invisible wall of sound and shattered into harmless light. The dragon roared, not destruction, but awakening. Its fire returned, not red, but white gold. Pure and controlled. Union ships fled. The desert settled into stillness. Eric collapsed, exhausted. The song faded into quiet breathing. The dragon knelt fully now, massive and alive. Eric, it said softly, you have broken an ancient lie. Eric looked up, tears streaking his dusty face. I just didn't want you to die. The dragon's eyes shone with something like gratitude. That is why humans are dangerous, it said. You do not accept endings. Far away across the galaxy, alarms continued to ring because the Union had just learned something terrifying. The last dragon was no longer dying, and humanity had found its voice.
The galaxy did not go silent after the song. It held its breath. On thousands of worlds, people paused in the middle of ordinary lives. A miner stopped drilling. A pilot froze with her hand on the throttle. A priest forgot his prayer halfway through. Something had passed through them, soft, stubborn, human. Union Command declared an immediate level absolute emergency. All human systems are to be isolated, the High Council ordered. Their voices are a destabilizing force. Too late. Eric sat in the cooling desert, leaning against the dragon's massive foreleg. His throat burned. His head felt light. I'm sorry, he whispered. I think I broke your universe. The dragon released a low, warm sound, almost a chuckle. No, little singer, it replied. You reminded it what it was supposed to be. The dragon slowly stood to its full height. The sky bent around its wings. Ancient symbols ignited along its scales, not weapons but names. Names of stars. Names of songs. I am Aurelian of the first choir, the dragon announced, voice rolling across dimensions. And I am no longer alone. Across the galaxy, something impossible happened. On a frozen moon, a fossilized dragon bone cracked, and light spilled out. In the ruins of a drowned world, a sleeping WIREM opened one glowing eye. In deep space, where time folded wrong, echoes answered the call. They were not alive. They were not dead. They were waiting. Union sensors screamed as impossible signals appeared. Harmonic structures the Union thought erased forever. No, whispered the High Council. That cannot be happening. Human colonies began to respond in a way no one expected. Not with weapons. With voices. On Earth, musicians felt an uncontrollable urge to play. Choirs gathered without knowing why. Children sang into the night sky. Old songs mixed with new ones. They didn't know they were doing anything special. They were just being human. Eric felt it too. Weakly he hummed again. Aurelian lowered its head. You have become a bridge singer, it said. A rare thing. Even among humans. What does that mean? Eric asked. It means your voice connects what was broken, Aurelian answered. Dragons shape reality. Humans give it meaning. Union fleets regrouped. This time they came not with extermination orders, but silence weapons. Fields designed to erase sound itself. Space around Aurelian went mute. Eric opened his mouth. No sound came out. Fear flooded him. I can't sing, he whispered. Aurelian's eye softened. You misunderstand, it said. The song was never only in your throat. Aurelian placed one massive claw gently against Eric's chest. It is here. Eric closed his eyes. He didn't sing. He remembered. He remembered his parents laughing. His grandmother humming. Humanity standing back up after every fall. The silence field cracked. A wave of soundless resonance spread. Felt not heard. Union ships lost formation as crews clutched their chests, overwhelmed by emotions they had suppressed for generations. This is impossible, the High Council screamed. Sound is gone. But meaning was not. The dragons began to arrive. Not in fleets. In harmonies. Massive shapes of light and scale emerged around Aurelian. Ancient. powerful, awake. They did not attack. They sang together. Stars shifted gently. Gravitational storms calmed. Warp systems stabilized. The universe healed. Human worlds lit up with cheers and tears. Not because they won, because they were heard. Union leaders finally understood their mistake. They had tried to control reality, but reality had chosen humans as its conscience. Aurelian turned to Eric. The Union will fall, it said. Not through war, but through choice. Eric looked at the endless sky filled with dragons and human signals. What happens to me? Aurelian smiled, a terrifying, beautiful thing. You go home, it said, and teach your people the truth. What truth? That voices matter, Aurelian replied. Even small ones. The Union officially dissolved 3 cycles later. Not because of dragons. Not because of humans. But because silence could no longer rule. Centuries from that moment, history books would not say a human boy saved the last dragon. They would say something far more dangerous. A human child sang. And the universe listened.